Welcome to Promote, Profit, Publish. I'm so excited to have a really good friend and guest today that I think we're going to start the new year off right with. Before we get started, I want to remind you to go over and take the Promote, Profit, Publish quiz at promoteprofitpublishquiz.com and see where your skill set lies with platform building and everything you need to have a really great platform for your book, business, product, whatever you do. So my guest today is Catherine Bell, who is one of my inner circle peeps who I just love. And she has a program that we're all going through in beta right now, us and several other people who we're just like glowing about it. It's so amazing. So Catherine is a successful business owner and has been for the last 18 years. She is highly skilled at creating systems and structures for businesses and homes. Her expertise is taking small companies and growing them into multi-million-dollar enterprises, which she has done several of those on her own. She's masterful at mentoring people to set goals and obtain extraordinary results through focused attention and performing income-producing activities. I have to just stop here and say that was one of the big pieces of her program that we all were like, it was like a wake-up call to some of the things I knew that I was supposed to be doing and that I'd done in the past, but I wasn't doing as much as I could have been. Working with numbers is her passion, and every project she takes on, and she takes on a lot of projects, are embraced wholeheartedly and with total dedication. She's committed to empowering people to take ownership of their businesses and to run them by the numbers, not their feelings, which so many of us do. And I'm just going to throw in here too, she is the director of a very large hedge fund as well, which is separate from what she does, but I think it's proof about her credibility in the marketplace that she does that. So welcome, Catherine.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have you. So tell us a little bit about your program, because it's stunning to me, all the comments I hear in the group that we have this whole big group of women and none of them are doing what you teach, which was amazing to me.
Yeah, so like you said, I've been in business for a few decades. And I've done multiple financial courses, like from Dave Ramsey to Kiyosaki's stuff to financial freedom, like all these courses. And I love all the courses. They're brilliant. And here's what it comes down to for me, like anything. We all know how to be rich and thin, but it doesn't mean we are. Right? And the reason is why? Like why? Why is it not enough just to know? Like, knowing is the movie prize. It's all about what we actually do out of what we've learned. And so for me, out of all these years of being in business, again, what I'm clear about is there's so many brilliant people out there, but the reality is if you don't actually do what you know you need to do and you don't actually track what you need to be tracking, you're not actually going to be making a difference in your bottom line of your company. So you talked about that. Like, most entrepreneurs and business owners are so busy working in their business that they're not stepping back and working on their business. And when we step back and we start working on our business and take that 15 minutes a day to be looking at and tracking income producing activity versus busy work and making sure ours and our team's calendars are aligned with that. I mean, that right there is just shifting, and doing that activity alone will add more commas to your bank account than you could imagine. And that's only one tiny piece of the course, as you know. So the other piece that I think is really critical is that most business owners and entrepreneurs, they're present to their numbers in the sense of that they create budgets, which, budgets are important. However, they look at them once and then they don't look at them again all year. Like, what good was that? All that time you spent. So what I do, what I've created and have been using and build all these companies with, is a forecast and a projection into the future of what's so. So we don't create it from like airy-fairy, what you want it to be, all your feelings. We actually create, like, no kidding, what's so right now and what's going on. And so it's like having a crystal ball into your future so that you can actually see 6 to 8 weeks out ongoingly where your gaps are. And then because you're tracking your income producing activity and you know your effectiveness inside of that, you know exactly how much you and your team need to do in order to close those gaps that are coming forward. So what it does is it actually puts you in the driver's seat. So there's never any gaps in your cash flow and there's never any surprises. And now, because you're doing that, now you have this cash flow machine going and you can start building your net worth. You can start building what I call your save to spend. So those are items that we all think about that are really great ideas, like your retirement. If you want to expand your business, like putting all those into actual real time so that you now have the money that's there so that you can actually be doing those things, not only in your business, but personally as well. You know, and I like to say it's like money is like oxygen. The more you have, the easier it is to breathe. But what I see is like people have money coming in, money going out, and they sort of look at their bank accounts like, well, that's how much I have or don't have. But the reality is that there's no actual concrete automated plan put in place so that they're actually planning and building for the future. They're only seriously living like day to day to day, which is kind of paycheck to paycheck or client to client. And that's not enough to actually build what they're out and committed to be building and living the life that they love. Like they become slaves to this client to client or paycheck to paycheck mentality that we have. Again, coming back to, because they're spending so much time doing busy work, working in their business instead of income producing activities, working on their business. And when business owners shift that, the increase of commas in their bank accounts, it's pretty exciting. It's very exciting.
It is. And I'm going to just share with you guys, I have mine done out until I think March now. And it's very interesting because December has traditionally been a very poor month for me. And I actually am having a really, really great month. And I truly believe that it's because I have all of this cash flowed out and I'm not thinking on a day-to-day basis anymore. We actually talked about on the call yesterday that I did the soul languages with Sonia Nagy. And literally I was on the phone and $8,000 that has been caught up in this like endless loop for 2 weeks came in while I was on the call. It was just like that whole space of, clearing it and getting it done. So the income producing activities was probably the biggest, putting that cash flow out was, but probably the biggest piece was the income activities because I realized I am great at follow-up. I'm able, I put it on my calendar, but I wasn't keeping track of how many times I have to speak to someone before I close them. And I'm finding that a very helpful tool because it's funny now that I'm doing it, I'm closing people on the first try, which it's like, whoa, I never realized I was that good at that. Yeah. But it a really helpful tool, and I think helpful for everyone out there because then you can gauge that, does it take me 3 touches? Does it take me 4 touches? Does it take me how many touches to close a deal? Because that's important to your cash flow as well.
Yeah, and that's really great that you pointed that out because what I find is that when you not only track that, now you actually know your effectiveness of do you have to touch them 5 or 10 times to be able to close them? And all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, do I really want to have to touch them 5, 10 times? Why can't I just do it on the first time? Like all of a sudden our intentionality becomes really hyper-focused and results start happening because we're clear how much time we actually want to spend doing this before we can get on to the next. But it's all about if you don't track it, you don't know it, therefore you're basing it on your feelings, which feelings don't really give you accurate thinking. but numbers give you accurate thinking. And so if you have accurate thinking, now you know what needs to be done for you and your team to add commas to your bank account. I mean, that's the reality of it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. And it goes along with when you're talking about the feelings with the numbers, it's the same way with marketing. You know, a lot of times I teach you guys, if you hire a marketing company and they're saying, oh, it's working, but nobody's buying. Well, I invite you to go try to make your car payment with those clicks. Oh, I had 170 clicks this month. Can I pay with those?
Right?
No, those are feelings. Those aren't results.
Right?
So,
yeah, exactly.
So I always consider you like my nerdiest friend because I know you're the only person out there who would think that's a compliment. So tell us what you're really passionate about, and everybody in my world will understand why you're my nerdy friend.
So have you heard of the book, The 5 Love Languages by Dr. Gary Chapman?
Yes.
So the sixth love language is mine. It's numbers and spreadsheets.
Oh my God. My whole audience just turned this off. No.
If I could communicate in numbers and spreadsheets rather than words, life would be so much better. And if I could like have my teenagers function inside of spreadsheets, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Feelings they're all over the place.
Well, good luck with that. You have junior high kids, and I firmly believe that all junior high teachers drink for good reason. So good luck with that, Mom.
Give them a bottle each for Christmas.
Yeah, you should. They probably love it. So what are 3 tips you would give to entrepreneurs or business owners?
The 3 tips I would give is for them to seriously look at what in their calendar, if you're time blocking, which I highly recommend time blocking instead of, again, running your business by your feelings when you're intentional about that. Make sure your time blocking is blocked out and you're really clear what your income producing activity is, what your busy work is, and that your calendar is filled with 80% of income producing activity. And hire out the busy work just to virtual assistants or somebody else. There's lots of people that Juliet knows, that I know. You can hire these virtual assistants, but you've got to be doing the income producing activity, and then you have to be tracking the effectiveness of it. Mm-hmm. So that's key. And then making sure that you have a very clean, clear plan so that you can be truly building your net worth, and then building your, what I call save to spend, like Christmas. Christmas is always the one that cracks me up. Like, people are always surprised when Christmas shows up. And then they have to put all these charges on credit cards. Like, except for the funny part is it actually happens the same day every year. Like, there's no surprise. It's gonna happen December 25th, 2019 as well. And 2020, so we can actually get out in front of it and really start saving for each one of those things and making sure you have the automated systems and structures, or even vacations. I mean, if there's business courses that you want to do, have a plan and start automating that so that you can get out in front and be putting those funds away to be able to do each one of those things. And I promise you, the freedom and peace that it will bring to you to be able to sleep at night, it's like night and day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So I've been researching questions, and I wasn't supposed to read that. Okay, forget that. I haven't been researching any questions. Oh, awkward. So Catherine, tell us a little bit about your hedge fund and what's going on with that as well, because I really am excited about what you guys are bringing to the table. You're kind of a disruptor.
We are disruptors. So I'm not only a director in the hedge fund, but I'm also a partner. I'm a managing director. And we are, our whole fund is based in the real estate investment space. And what's really exciting about what we're doing is we are currently invested in Airbnbs and that whole space of having vacation rentals. And it's a very broad spectrum hedge fund, meaning that it allows us to invest where the numbers make sense inside of the real estate investing world. And what's really exciting is, I don't know if you heard, but there was an announcement that Trump, he created these called opportunity zones. And we happen to be in the Phoenix Valley, which is an opportunity zone. And so what it allows for, which is really exciting, is people who have, the 1031 exchange.
Mm-hmm.
You know about that? Okay, so what happens is with the 1031 exchange, you're rolling money from an investment, and it has to be put into another investment in a particular period of time so that you don't get taxed and you just keep growing. But what happens is investors have been continuing to roll this money over, and their investments are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So trying to sell that existing investment to find a bigger investment to put this into, that's been the challenge. And now what's happened is, because of this opportunity zone that Trump has created, is that now these 1031 exchange investors can now invest in like a fund like ours, because we are working in this area, making those projects happen, and they have a period of time to get that done so that they don't get taxed, and now they're actually in the bigger deals without having to deal with any like the tax implications of all of that. It's pretty exciting. So I would say, talk to your accountant, talk to your attorney, whatever it is for you, and really dig into what those opportunity zone benefits are. And obviously we're one of the people that has created that space so that people can be investing inside of that and taking advantages of those tax savings. So it's pretty exciting.
See how geeky smart she is? Why she's my nerdy friend. So tell us about when your program's starting again, what people are going to get out of it, and how we can get in touch with you.
That's great. So my next class starts the beginning of January, and there's two things that two opportunities that you have. So if you just want to know where you sit financially, you can go to empoweredbynumbers.com and take a fun little quiz that Juliet set up. It's very cool. And just learn more about yourself and where you actually are financially. And if you want to learn more about the course itself, and even more about me if you want, you can go to, it's very long, but it's numberstellyouwhattodo.com. And you can learn more about that, which is very exciting. So it's a great way to start 2019 and to truly get out in front of your numbers and have this be the best year you've ever had, because you're actually tracking and doing more income producing activity than you've ever done before in way less time, which is very exciting. So we love to collapse timelines.
It is. Well, thank you so much for being on today. We enjoyed having you, and keep on being nerdy.
You're awesome. Yes, I'm your nerdiest friend, but I love that.